Terrence.
Hey there.
Frakes.
Let me unmute. There we go.
Maho.
Yo.
And Jeff.
Hello.
Not as silky as last time.
I know.
I appreciate it.
Not that deep, rich voice.
Are you still in mourning over Valric's loss?
Yes.
It's a harsh world we live in.
Yeah.
You know, I don't miss Valric as much as I missed Handy, so I think it was time for him to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, you all have it coming. He just had it coming harder, apparently. So,
well, he was more actively malicious toward bystanders. No. Lady Outside is the most antagonistic toward bystanders, I think.
If they talk to her
What
or deign to look in her general direction, then
There
yes,
it
they
is.
deserve it.
There it is. The simple barmaid that was so enthusiastic about meeting the paladin, and you're like,
How does she
swine.
dare? How does she dare?
swine, take that for having aspirations.
Yeah. I'm going to make you look like a pig for the rest of your life.
Basically.
So I've got a quick bone to pick. I don't know if we want to do a lot of banter, but I've gotten through some of the shows that I was watching, and it's really difficult as an anime enjoyer because I've got a lot on my list, and I want to get through them, but some of them are just hot garbage.
Yeah.
And you never know until you get at least 2 or 3 episodes in.
Yep. At least you're willing to admit it, though. There are some people who are so fanny that they're just like, I can't say that anything is bad about anything.
Oh no. Some of them are the worst things that I've ever seen. And
Some of them start off really good, but
yeah.
then they get shitty.
Yep.
And that's fine, too.
There's some that are like super lighthearted and happy-go-lucky, and then you get to like the second to the last or the last episode and it turns real fucking dark, real fucking fast. And it's like, where was my fun? I was enjoying this.
I don't mind those.
Why am I watching this schoolgirl have to murder her mother or some shit?
I do love a nice last act swerve.
Yeah, but I like them better if there's swerves throughout, where you go, oh, this is probably going to get dark. I'm going to go ahead and emotionally prepare myself. One of these characters might not make it out of here, as opposed to, oh, look at this fun slice of life high school drama that suddenly now the main protagonist is cutting their hanged friend down out of the rafters because they committed suicide. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
You're watching some weird dark shit. I gotta be honest with you.
Those are the
That's
types.
my point. I'm trying
Those
not
are
to.
the types that my niece will recommend to me, and then do the Mr. Burns fingers. Like basically, she's like, "Oh, you're gonna love it," and then she starts laughing real hard, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, no, I need to be emotionally prepared going into this. That this is not what it seems." And Trinity loves that.
I got one for you, Frakes. Triage X.
I started Triage X, and I got to like episode 2, and I'm like, I don't like where this is going. I don't like at all where this is going.
It's very fan
It's fan servicey. Oh yeah,
servicey, but it's actually got a good story.
Yeah, it's a real edgy story. And I haven't been in the mood for that kind of edge. I've been wanting to just enjoy some slice of life and some will they, won't they romantic comedy lightness, because the world is a dark, terrifying, and horrible place. And I want to escape it for a little while.
It's just their boob physics on there is kind of strange. I'm kind of like going, boobs don't react like that. That's not realistic. That's not even close to being realistic.
Like a Skyrim mod.
Keep your eyes glued, Jeff. That's why they did that. We'll make this boob physic a little off. That way these old men will be like, that's not how a titty should look. And they'll watch until they think we'll fix it. but we never do. The
Well, that one's going up and that one's going down, but she's hopping in the same direction. What is happening?
She's doing a cartwheel. Wait, I don't know if that's how that works either.
No.
No.
Unless you got really wide boobs, I guess, the centrifugal.
Like the ending credits of the show where they're doing some animation in the background. They're showing one of the women on there, and her boobs are just jiggling for no reason. They're just
Like
jiggling.
she's standing stone still.
they're just jiggling for like no reason. And then later on, she's like riding a motorcycle and they're stock still. I'm like, okay, there you could have put jiggling.
No, that's muscle control. They're showing off her muscle control.
Well, like a lot of these big boobied anime girls, they're like an old car. They have like a lot of run-on time once they stop. They stop, keep going, then they finally shut off.
I saw one that made me giggle. This lady snapped a fan closed, and the movement of her flicking her wrist to snap her fan closed caused her boobs to bounce almost to her chin and down to her rib cage in separate movements.
Now that sounds like a real comedy to me.
Oh, it was.
What is
It was
that?
I want to say Dragonor. I want to think that's what that was in.
I like absurd shit like that. That's funny to me.
Oh, then you'll like EIKEN, Eiken.
EIKIN.
That's what I was saying.
EIKEN. It's a ridiculous show.
I'm writing it down.
Like, as ridiculous as that one where people like just mega orgasm over how food looks.
Oh, much more so.
What, Food Wars?
Food Wars is like,
I love Food
it's
Wars.
fantastic, but it's not like ridiculous.
I don't
Right.
know. Like, all I've ever seen is the food orgasm compilation. So, like, I'm assuming the
I
entire
was gonna
show
say, I guess
like
you
that.
get like numb to it after a little
Mhm.
while.
You
though,
do.
if you just keep watching
You do.
it.
You just go, oh, okay, that's just the reaction that these people have to this amazing
Yeah.
food. Sure.
Yeah, because it's like when they're doing their contest, they'll like get orgasms from eating the food, and like their clothes blow off, or they'll show some fantasy scene where they're floating in the clouds naked
Mhm.
and having an orgasm while
Like,
eating the
okay.
food.
Or the
Yeah,
clothes come back on. That's the one that got me.
Here's my question. Having never seen the show, are these scenes diegetic?
No.
Are they really happening in the reality of the cartoon, or is this just
Well,
all mental?
The chairman will lose clothes.
yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. Is like, like they make the whole make the whole audience lose their clothes or something like that. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh, that's how you know that it was this good, because not only did her clothes come off, everybody in the first 60 rows, their clothes came off
Popped
too.
a boner so hard,
know?
the pants exploded.
Yeah.
There was a sneaky scene, of sneaky orgasm where the chairman doesn't realize that he blew his underoos off until after the contest was over, and he was walking into the restroom. Was like, "Ooh, that's breezy."
Yeah. It's like, oh, surprised even me.
Now, granted, the writer of that show did originally write hentai, so
Huh.
So to go back to that, then with the boob physics, I used to be into hentai, still am a little, but I used to too. And for shits and gigs, because we have a Patreon, and I'm like, I like to look at other Patreons. You ever looked at some of these hentai Patreons?
no, it's
Those dudes are making so much fucking money.
yeah,
Yeah.
because hentai is art.
They are drawing titties that jiggle, and people are paying them thousands of dollars. It is insane. So for you arts in our group here,
Yeah, I was gonna say, get better at it.
just bite the bullet, draw some jiggly titties and weird tentacle porn, and we'll add that to our Patreon.
Mhm.
Make it 18 plus, and
Maybe I need to add breasts to the spaceship.
Oh yeah, just huge mommy milkers right there on the front of the spaceship.
You're so gay.
I call them mommy milkers. So uncomfortable with the human female anatomy. You have to slap a matriarchal tone onto it.
Oh, but no, like in all seriousness, I've gone to some of these hentai Patreons. I haven't paid any for it, but a lot of them leave up like the number of people who are subscribed and how much money they make, and the numbers made me go, I really wish I could draw hot hentai shit because I would totally sell that to people online.
Yeah.
I mean, would we want that on our Patreon? Because I am a
we just start our second one.
Yeah.
I'm a consumer of vast amounts of that kind of content. And it might there might be something up here that I could draw from.
Furry artists make just as much. Yeah.
Franks, go to the Reddit hentai page. Go to the Reddit hentai page. I know you're not scared to.
No.
And then just scroll through those photos.
He's like
one.
Favorited tab number 1.
Oh, so you mean what I'm looking at right now?
Favorited tab.
Look for the ones
Let
that
me go to that
say
bookmark.
buy. They'll say buy, and some of the photos will have a Patreon like name on it. And then just for shits and gigs, go look at their Patreon page. And I'm telling you, the amount of money these dudes are making to draw cartoons, it's insane.
Well, I mean, it's a big industry.
Yeah.
Of weird jerk off drawings. Just okay.
I mean, think about the pornography industry in general and how much money that makes, and how pornography really is. It's the vanguard of technology.
It's the reason the internet is popular.
Yes.
It's the reason Bluetooth or Blu-ray beat out, what was the other one? I can't remember. Because porn picked Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talking about Laserdisc or whatever.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
It's the reason that VR started gaining popular. It's the reason that our phone screens got bigger when we realized that we could actually look at porn on our phones.
And they vibrate too.
That's when the screen started getting bigger. God damn it, Jeff.
I didn't say that as a joke at all.
It also killed.
The phone's vibrating are the reason he still uses a fanny pack.
He's got like 9 phones.
Hey, that's why I still use a rotary phone, man. Every time you wheel that little wheel around.
You got some weird kinks, my friend.
Call 9 every time.
Oh god! They also picked VHS over Betamax, which was a mistake because Betamax just looked better. Let's be honest.
But see, that's my whole point. The pornography industry is the vanguard of technological growth, and it has been since people started drawing on cave walls. They started adding color because it wasn't stimulating enough for stick figures. So they started finding pigments to mix together so that they could get the right nipple color.
Sorry.
I mean,
the thing I think about when I think about cave art is like animal drawing. So like initially for
pornography
right out the gate.
That's a beautiful deer, but what if it had a dick?
What if it had huge tits and a dick?
Yeah, those aren't spears that the hunters are using.
Oh God. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I made y'all
definitely
go
hunting
there.
the woolly mammoth, if you know what I mean.
Don't get me started on those cave bears. All right.
That one was also sexual.
Was it? Yes, I guess it was.
Well, thanks for having me. I died last week. I'll leave you guys to it.
Yeah, get off our show. We didn't want you anyway.
I know it.
We're replacing you with noob.
No, that's a lie.
Someone who can respect the material and knows the system. And always pays attention to what's going on.
Noob listens to this show a lot because he's not on it. And I'll say it here. I really like playing games that Noob's running when he GMs because I never know what's going to happen and none of it matters. It's phenomenal.
The absurdity in Noob's games are delightful.
It's like, whose line is it anyway?
Kinda, yeah.
But with a more funny David, what's his name? Dave Who ran whose line?
Harry. No.
No.
What's his name?
Drew Carey did the second
Drew Carey.
version, but I can't remember the guy who did the first one. The British guy.
Yeah, I don't remember either. It was funny.
I'd
but I
say
don't
Noob's
remember.
better than Drew Carey, though.
Yeah, that's who I thought you were talking about.
There's also a more consistent through line in Noob's storytelling.
Is there? I haven't noticed.
More
Mostly
than
because
whose line is it anyway? Yeah.
I'm barely paying attention to Noob.
We know.
Yeah. A lot of hate for Noob for some
I
reason.
don't have hate for Noob.
apathy.
I'm-
A lot of apathy for Noob.
I feel like he's like a brother to me. Have I called my brother this year? I don't know, but whatever. He's like a brother to me.
He's like the state of Delaware. I think about him once, maybe twice a decade.
Delaware's
All
a
right,
state.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where your current president comes from, I think. Anyway, oh yeah, you died.
I died. I was beheaded, and then I was brought back as a lizard man. But I'd already made a deal in hell. So hail.
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 Oh,
Hail and
no.
hail.
So a rift didn't open. This big block of ice came from the sky and knocked him out.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm dead again. I did put in the Discord because I'd said that the tentacles grabbed all my shit because I always hate it in these games where, like, at this level, for me to leave that much wealth would I don't know, it just offsets the characters. However, I think the staff should stay behind.
Sure.
Just because it's a cool item, and maybe the next character I make would want to use it.
Now, are you already planning for this current character that you built to die? I mean, are you that fatalistic about this thing?
No, I think this new character is look, Valric was never meant to be a long-lived character. I enjoyed Valric, but I definitely knew that he was something could hit him once and he'll be dead.
Well, that's what happened.
And that's exactly what happened.
He was a glass kaleidoscope, not even a glass cannon.
Yeah, I mean, even without the
Color spray.
I always hate it when I die in a combat and I didn't get to do anything. So that always sucks because it's like I rolled a really good, like my initiative was +2 and I got a 21. I rolled a 19, and I was fairly confident I'd be able to do something, but I didn't.
The monster's initiative was +9. So
Yeah. But I enjoyed playing Valric as long as he did, and I like that he's still alive in the world. I always like to try and do that with a character if I can. Just because you never know, around level 14, this character might die, and I'd want to have the opportunity to bring him back, or maybe tell a story that involves him down the line, and it still be canon, just in my own headspace. I like that kind of stuff.
Imagine thinking this campaign's going to go to 14th level.
I mean, I don't know. It may or may not. We might play
I'm
this
kidding.
level again.
I'm kidding. I'm pretty fast and loose with giving out levels. I'm not going to lie to this.
But no, I made a new character, and I'll wait until he gets introduced. But is slightly different as far as survivability goes. So I have hopes for this next guy to bring something better to the party.
Bring in another character. I look at our Patreon. Well, I'm like, well, that sucked. He just went and jumped into a hole to hell. Okay. So how about can we take a couple day break so we can go see if we can replace our friend here by using the teleport room?
There ain't no way to replace Valric. He was a close personal friend of mine. And he left all his shit.
I agree. Yes, sure. But we need more support here, obviously.
Pods thinks about what you said. No, that was very unfortunate what just happened, but yes, I think you're right. So let's see. I know there was one last room on that hallway. If you want to explore that really quickly, then we'll hit the teleportation room. I think we might be able to get to the city and find someone. I know a young paladin that might be interested in joining the group. But we'll see what we can find.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with checking at least one more room. It would be a shame to leave this hallway completely, not completed. And
I want to mark that spot off on my map.
All right. The
Goddamn boogeyman.
the wizard finishes memorizing his spell, snaps his book closed, gathers his things, dismisses all the bedding that he summoned, and looks around. Takes one last look at the library and says, "Well, I hope I make it back before someone else gets here." And you guys head out into the hallways once more. Now, once you go down south down the hallways, you get to the 3 rooms that you've already opened. One of them is now closed, and you can hear the Bodak on the inside still moaning, "Let me out! Let me out!"
Oh, you know what we did not do? Go into the other guy's room that we did not check to see if there was anything in there.
No, you did not. Let's see. Whenever you peek into the boogeyman's room, you see that the entire wall is just covered in just obscene graffiti. Like most of it seems to be just slashed into the stone itself. Some of it is arcane, some of it is just filth. So a lot of it is just horrifying doodles. It looks like a madman's room, and indeed, it is or was. You've had a murderous fey creature trapped in a room for roughly 200 years, just sort of idly passing the time, scratching things into the wall. It doesn't even look like he's even bothered trying to escape. Like, you're guessing just from the deep scratches in the door that eventually he might have even been able to claw his way out. But if one thing boogeymen are, it's patient boogeymans.
Boogeyman sounds like a modern funk rapper.
Okay, well, detect magic and check, make sure there's nothing else in there.
Just slide past that comment.
That was gold.
It was gold.
Looking at
Everything I say is the gold standard for comedy and interesting. All right, you detect magic within the room. You detect only lingering auras here, and whenever your gaze slides back down, you see the now empty clothing the boogeyman once wore. The body seems to have basically just crumbled to sort of black powder overnight.
I scatter it with my boots.
All right, you scatter it with your boots, and the room and the hallway darkens as you kick some up. Like it just seems to get supernaturally dark as you kick some of the black powder up.
Is there any way to destroy that powder?
You could probably wet it or perhaps burn it in a forge. Yeah, you could destroy it.
Okay. I'll put a little bit of alcohol on it.
Okay. You wet it and make it basically unusable. But the powder itself was giving off an aura of magic. And some of the clothing is giving off an aura, like his jet black overcoat and the top hat that he wore in particular are giving off some magical auras.
Ooh,
Okay, separate those out of the way. Maybe outside.
Okay.
What spellcraft for that?
Yes,
For that
please.
stuff?
Your specialty.
Blum, blum, blum. Mathity math. 34.
34. Okay.
Some good math.
The overcoat seems to have a number of small abilities. One, it seems to enhance. It acts as if it is enhancing, or an item that enhances natural armor. Basically, if you put it on, it makes your skin tougher. You also can see that it has a number of like markings and mystical symbols etched in black thread on the black material, but these are symbols that are significant to evil fey creatures and will give you a bonus to interacting with them.
Would I get a bonus from that?
Anyone who wears it gets a bonus to interacting with them.
Oh, okay. No, I was just wondering because since I'm descended from Fae.
Yeah.
What about that hat? That hat looks real nice.
The hat.
Separate roll?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
separate roll.
That one's not as good. 25.
Oh, that's fine. The hat has 2 effects. One, it both of them are skill oriented. Anyone who puts it on becomes more intimidating and more and more able to blend into the shadows. It basically gives a static +3 bonus to both intimidate and stealth.
Son of a bitch.
That's my hat. Well, I'm dead.
Quick question. Did we heal up before we went to sleep?
I'm sure we would have.
I mean, there's one less drain on your resources. So
Yeah, I would have used my charges.
I'm still keeping the notes. It was the hat of intimidation and stealth. And what were the other two things? It was the
Coat does natural armor and gives a bonus to evil fae.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the coat was one
diplomacy.
coat.
both basically just call them boogeyman's garb and boogeyman hat.
Not items that are actually in
No.
their homebrew stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bonus to interacting with evil fae is a static +3 bonus to any charisma check while interacting with evil fae.
Bonus to natural armor.
+1, but it can be enhanced.
What do you mean it can be enhanced? Like
Similar
you
to a
can-
necklace.
You're guessing that this thing, this coat, the longer you wear it and the more you kill while wearing it, the more potent it becomes.
And it has to be you killed it.
Yes. So once the boogeyman died, it reset.
Damn.
But it's like if you're in a group and you were helping to fight, but you didn't get that kill shot, does that count? What is that? How does that work?
I'm gonna say that if you get the killing blow, definitely, and if you just scratch something, probably not. Like, I think it'll be largely situational,
Indeed.
but mostly it concerns itself with the killing blows.
I mean, I like
basically
that-
not good for the lady because she doesn't necessarily do a lot of damage
Yeah,
when
you-
it comes to killing blows.
You let other people, do your dirty work, your light work.
The lady might have a new fire staff, or Jeff. Who took that
Well,
staff?
the lady's got it right this second.
What does it do?
A staff of fire, it has a number of different abilities that you can spend charges for. It comes with 10 charges normally. It's currently down to what how many charges?
It's got 4 charges currently.
It's got
Things
4
got
charges,
burning
but
hands
Okay.
can do.
Is it something I
fireball
can just,
and
like,
then wall of flame.
yeah, that is something you can look up. Staff of fire.
Where
But yeah, like you can on your downtime, you can actually use your own spell slots to put charges back into it.
But it's got to be you've got to have a 5th level spell, because whatever wall of fire is, you got to have that spell available, and you got to use that to charge it back up. I was just reading up on that earlier today. It's
you guys
pain in the
should-
butt.
You guys should be able to swing that if you're not multi-classed by next level.
I mean, I was able to charge it.
Yeah, but like you have to have those spells to do that?
No, you just have to have a slot.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
You have to
You
have
can
at
only
least
do it
one of
once
those spells on your
a day.
list.
So, like
Hmm.
in your downtime, each day when you wake up, instead of prepping that highest level spell, you put it to the staff to give it 1 charge back.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have like burning hands, which is a 1st level spell,
Mm-hmm.
and if you have burning hands, fireball, or wall of fire, you can recharge the staff. As long as you have any of those,
Gotcha.
but you have to have a 5th level spell slot available to charge it.
4th level?
4th
Well,
level.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
wall of fire is
whatever
4th
wall of fire is.
level spell, I
Mhm.
believe.
Okay.
And what
Word.
slot?
So I
does,
could do that.
What slot does that coat take up?
Robe, basically.
Robe. Looking to see if there's a way to custom build a magical robe. Because
Or you
robe
getting
is
a hat?
body, right?
Oh, there was a 3rd magic item, but Jeff kind of ruined it. So
What was it? How would what?
Dust of
the
tracelessness.
no, basically it was powder, darkness powder, basically.
Mm.
Huh.
It can't dry?
It'll be a few days. if you're just going to scrape up the mud.
And I don't really see a way to custom build body slot because robes are body slots.
There's a way I could tell you how to do it after we're recording.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. I mean, extra natural armor. I have no natural armor now. That would be pretty great for Jeb.
That'd be great for me too.
The hat's not bad either, but
Well, I don't want the hat.
But while you guys are debating that, Pod says, all right, let's check out this last room. Mr. Jeb, Mr. Smithsonian.
Jefferson Smithsonian. Now, before we continue with that, my biggest problem is I've got a hat of disguise now.
Mm.
So, swapping out hats, we can deal with that shit later. But let me see what I'm looking at with this door. There's any window on it with bars over it, or is it just a plain wooden or metal door?
This is a plain wooden and metal shod door. There are 2 locks, both inset at the door, one at eye level to a medium-sized creature and one at like waist level. The keyholes are surrounded by a circular pad with a number of arcane runes around it. And you can tell that it's probably going to take a little bit more than picking a lock to get in here, but go ahead and make your search check.
Yeah, I'll check for traps. 13 on the die plus
33.
It's no.
You're not plus 20? I thought you were.
No, that's for my disable.
Mm.
It's sorry.
I thought something
17. No, it's 30 even.
Oh, exactly like you said. Sorry, I thought something was crawling on my foot. It's the cord for this mic. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
If only this was a video show, we could have seen you temporarily scared.
Chagrin. All right, so yes, you thoroughly investigate the doorway. You can tell that yes, it is indeed trapped. You've seen these kind of magical traps before. In your workings, you're guessing that it is a combination blood lock and something you would have to know the magical phrases to get into. You're also guessing that it involves turning 2 keys at once. So there is definitely a dangerous element to unlocking this door. It would be a multi-stage process if you were to do it all on your own.
Can I try to unlock it?
Sure, you can.
I'll try to do one lock.
And I can work on the other, and I can try to disable the other one while you do the blood stuff.
All right. So Jeff, what are you doing?
I'm gonna use the mark on my hand and try to just kind of like unlock or something along that line. See if there's use magic device basically.
Yes. Okay. Roll use magic device for me.
Do you want me to attempt to disable while he's doing that, or let him?
It's totally up to
handle
y'all.
Both.
23.
23. All right. After investigating the lock, which one are you doing? Top or bottom?
Top.
All right. You do the top one. You look it over. You put I assume you picked your now scarred hand over the top of it. You see the scar on your hand begin to glow briefly as you try to exert your will over the magic of this lock. And eventually a word whispers into your ear, and you guys hear him mutter something under his breath in Draconic. And you see all the little runes around the keyhole light up and go out.
Step back.
Nullifying the magic on that lock.
Done.
But the bottom one's still lit up, though. So.
You want me to do the bottom one too?
Sure.
All right. I got a 30 on that one.
Okay. Now that you know how to do it, you quickly follow the same procedure and nullify the magic on this one too. Just leaving behind a pair of mundane locks for you to try to pick.
Okay. Step back.
All right. Now, do we want me to take my time on this, or you want me to try to rush through it?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long, says Pod from the back. How long generally these magical locks are out before they rearm themselves? But if I had made it, it would definitely rearm itself after a while.
How long does taking 10 last? Or take?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Well, it'll probably reset before 10 minutes are up, so 34.
All right. Jeb goes to work, and under a minute, he is able to get the bottom lock unlocked. You hear it snap loudly.
1 down, 1 to go. 40
Okay.
for a natural 20.
Feeling your oats this morning, you're able to whip this one out even faster. The locks clutchack. The door
Why
cracks
did you
open.
ask?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought this was something special that Jeff, could do with his newfound draconic lineage. I'm sorry, that Zarius could do. Character.
All right. The door cracks open, and then you see all the little runes around the keys light up again. It immediately rearms after opening.
But the door is open.
But the door is open, yes.
Well, after seeing how my cowardice ended up killing my friend the last time, I will stealthily open the door.
All right, you stealthily open the door. A light immediately pops on in the small room.
Sword out.
Sword out. Sword out, bitches. All right. A light pops on in the room. That cot there is actually not meant to be a cot. I forgot. It's supposed to be a desk. But you see a desk. You see a desk and a much smaller library than the one up the hallway. Several shelves around the walls, and this looks to be like a spell research lab, just a small one. The shelves are lined with books, most of them treatises on arcane spell research, like, lists of important runes and like tomes that teach you how to properly enunciate magical words, all these things that a wizard needs to delicately, painstakingly craft new magic.
It's full of books. Stab, stab, stab.
You see also there is a coffin against the wall, closed. Closed and chained to the wall. They're like, it's against the wall, upright, and chained, bolted into the wall. Next to that is a shelf with, you've seen these before, a number of bottles that contain little figurines, little effigies inside of them. The last time you saw things like this, you were in the tower over the chasm, and you assumed that they were probably, things that were contemporary to the last time the cavern, the tower was occupied 80 years ago. But here you see the same sorts of things from 200 years ago.
Don't we still have a kraken in a bottle?
You have several things in a bottle. You have a rust monster, a kraken, and it looks like a guy in a nice suit holding a tray with drinks on it.
That's right.
Probably an assassin.
Or a butler?
No, assassin.
Assassin Butler.
Yeah, they're the same thing. Have you never watched Clue?
All clear?
Black Butler.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All clear? Pod calls out. Nothing dangerous?
Books.
Yeah.
A lot of books.
And a coffin.
Yeah, that's
Coffin.
probably a problem.
Well, since you're missing your standard wizard, my apologies. Once again, my condolences. He steps in and begins looking around himself and says, not a bad spell research area. I mean, I have most of these already, but, some of these are first editions, he says, grabbing one or two off the shelf and thumbing through them.
What are in the bottles?
He looks at the bottle and says, oh, I've seen these before myself. A lot of the, dungeon areas around this valley have similar things to them, like this. Apparently, some wizard or witch or something down the line, and like many of these are hundreds of years old, had a knack for capturing people and putting them into these bottles. Sometimes the bottles were reusable, like you can put them back in the bottle, depending on the quality. I've only encountered one myself.
Gregory, I choose you. Serve drinks.
No, he's like, no. My own familiar came from the bottle. He pulls out the frog with the pigeon-like wings that he carries around with him in a bag and puts it on his shoulder. The frog croaks. He says, came from a little tiny, like, medicine bottle. He goes back when you call him, but it doesn't seem to do much for him. It doesn't heal him or anything. It just keeps him in stasis.
Stasis.
How do you release something from one of these bottles?
Oh, you just unstopper it and point, in my experience.
Are they controllable?
That is debatable. This creature I found, this little chimera, basically is functionally an animal. But I think it just depends on the attitude of whatever's inside.
Okay, so diplomacy or charm monster or something along that line.
Well, it'd be helpful to have that sort of thing handy. Let's see what we have here. You see one. You see one large bottle that seems to be just a strange miasmic, swirling, glowing, like eerie radiance inside the bottle. Just it's giving off a sort of a limited, like neon disquieting, like swirling. It hurts your eyes to look at it a little bit.
Let's not open that one.
The next one seems to be just a fleshy, floating orb.
Well, let's not open that one either.
The third one appears to be a man. What does this man look like?
Angular face, dark coat with a red trim on it. He's sitting cross-legged with a spear laid out in front of him, and his hands opened above it, palms up, with his eyes closed.
Crisscross applesauce.
You also see the garb he is wearing has the symbol of the dragon.
Jeb's looking at these little jars, and he's picking them up and looking at the little red one, sets that one down gently, looks at the little floating fleshy orb, shakes it a little bit.
Careful with that. Put it.
Nope.
Sets that down. As y'all say, nope. He turns and knocks the bottle with the man off the shelf.
All right.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. Okay.
Startled by
dive
the
and catch it.
nope.
Are you really going to try and catch it?
I would try, to be honest.
Oh, go ahead. Give us a
Because the
reflex
last
check.
time Jeb dropped something and it broke open,
That's because Jeb got murdered.
the evil being from a whole nother universe came into being.
Yeah, he dropped it because he got murdered.
All I hear is criticize.
Okay. Go ahead. 20. Yes, you see
I rolled a 16.
Zarius dive across the floor, sliding on his stomach, and he catches it just before it hits the ground. The man inside is unperturbed, unmoving.
Okay. Jeb,
Yeah.
or Jefferson Airplane,
Jefferson Airplane.
please be more careful.
Sorry.
And now,
Please, it's
Looking
Mr.
at-
Starship now.
looking at the container, you said he looks like he has the coat of arms of the dragon.
Yes.
Is there any way to communicate with the individuals inside, or do they look like they're in suspended animation?
They are completely immobile, suspended. Like they don't really move. Like you could turn the jar upside down and the figure just stays stuck to the bottom.
Okay.
But wait, you're touching it, aren't you?
Yes, I
Yes.
have, and I got the dragon's thing on me.
All right. Well, then, now that you're touching it, you feel a sort of a warm glow coming from your hands, and you can see that the stopper also has the same symbol, like the little glass stopper on top has the same symbol on it as well. It seems to be waiting for you.
Slip of the wrist, pop it open.
Okay. You pop it open. You guys, your guys' ears all pop as a sudden atmospheric change in the nearby area where a man wasn't, now a man is, sitting in the same position in which he was sitting in the jar. The jar is empty, and the glass of the jar turns black. You smell.
I actually show my hand to him.
You smell dirt and decay and stale air as you open your eyes and see a group of people that you mostly don't recognize, except for one guy who is clearly a spitting image of your master. Who are you?
He's a genie in the bottle. We just had to rub him the right way.
Oh.
I am summoned again to do the bidding for the Lord Dragon.
Yes.
Sabat Artuz, at your service. Though you are not my Lord Dragon.
The differences are there, but this man is obviously connected, related. You've seen a number of the dragon's foul drop come through here over the years. Very few of them stay for long. This one seems to have curried enough favor to get into the spell research room that they keep your jar in.
If you are here, I'm assuming you have a mission for me, sire.
Yes. Join us. Assist us as we reclaim this place.
I mean, Darius, I know you're the guy, the go-to guy and all, but are you sure about this? We don't even know this guy.
I'm fairly sure. And actually, I'll run a sense motive on him and kind of wink at the lady to see if she'll do the same.
He picks up what you're putting down.
Jeb's
Doesn't roll
kinda
that great.
Eyeballing.
I got a 23.
Guy.
Way better than me with a 13.
All right. This person, given the limited information that he has been provided with, you're guessing that the last time he has stood in this room was well over 200 years ago. Seems to be sincere in his offer of servitude.
And I'll stand, leaving the spear on the ground. Put my arms behind my back, stand straight, give a little stretch. I'm assuming the same payment as before with the Lord Dragon.
Let's discuss these terms. Mr. Payment.
That's a first.
Well, let's just say Lord Dragon's no longer here.
Yeah, how long you been in that jar there, buddy?
What year is it?
And I will actually tell him what year it is.
The year of the curdled monkey.
He does a little math in his head.
1356.
200 years, huh? Normally I'm not kept up that long. Something's happened.
Yes.
Because I'm starting to look around and see how like old and dusty the room is.
You can also see out into the hall where the room across where that boogeyman you helped capture was freed and probably destroyed. But that room's walls were pristine when you put him in there.
Boy, if only we would have come to this room first, huh?
Actually, you could have, depending on the route you took. But
Yeah.
How do you know the Lord Dragon? You seem to be descendant of him from your looks.
Yes. And how do I know of him? By legend. Because he's now dead.
Shit.
Yeah, all that exists of him now is fables and fairy tales, as far as we can
Well,
tell.
bones and a ghost.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Forgot about Dragon Ghost. Boy, that's something.
He was a hard lord to work for, but he promised portion of his bounty to those who served him well. And I had for hundreds of years.
So it's been roughly about 3 years of your reckoning.
No, I mean, how long was the Black Dragon around?
Oh, the dragon was extremely old whenever
Yeah,
he died.
I was thinking I worked with him for a long time, but you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, not all of it was like contemporary. Like once he started putting you in the bottle,
I'll explain to them what my role was with the Black Dragon. Is that I was a dignitary of the Lord Dragon. He enjoyed my services and my skill set to the point where he offered me longevity in the term of stasis. He would wake me, send me on missions, give me a portion of his bounty, and then I would sleep again. It gave me a way to see the world evolve that even long-lived elves don't get to see as often.
Yeah, I was about to say, judging by your ears, you would have had a long life anyway, but you were shooting for them eons, millennia.
Let's see. What do you look like?
I'm an elf, angular face. His hair is braided back into a headband that he wears that puts off some magic. His eyes, now that they're open, you can see are blank. They're black with star-like fragments in them. I constantly detect magic. Trains.
Apparently.
There's a train sound that he likes to make. He's real good at choo-chooing. He used to take care of children in his teen years, and they called him old Choo-Choo McChewer because he can choo-choo with the best of them. I don't.
I get so used to hearing it that I just tune it out the minute that it comes by.
What robot farts sound like?
Well, I can't offer you longevity based off stasis yet. But what I can offer you is a share of the bounty, where you're working with us as we go forward.
Pod sticks his head out from under his lifts his head up, says, "Are you enlisting this man to be part of your crew?"
Yeah, at least right now. Let's look at this more as a interview process, on the job interview.
Yeah, an assessment.
Well, I guess it would save us time. If we lost 2 days, who knows what that other group found before us?
Correct.
Oh yeah, I forgot about them.
Exploring what is now a tomb of my former master.
Yeah, under
essentially.
Not necessarily a tomb.
We're under his what's the word I'm looking for? Geas to get him to the horde, and to get him back safely after he has discovered it and reported it.
Yes, well, just a little contractual.
That's the word I was looking for. Contract. My apologies.
He gives the descendant of his former master a strange look, like idiot.
and I just kind of shrug my shoulders.
Apples do fall far from trees from time to time, I assume.
Well, I mean, if there's a hill, they could just roll down the hill. I mean, it's how gravity works. Oh, metaphors. You're talking metaphors. My apologies.
Do you know what's in these other jars? Says Demo Mark.
Trinkets that he wanted to keep. Other people like myself, or things like myself sometimes.
You see a lot of the jars are missing. There used to be a lot more on the shelf. There's only, between the one that was with you and the 2 they found, you only see one more, and it seems to have rolled off the shelf a long time ago and butted up against the bottom of the coffin.
Do I know what's in the coffin?
Yes.
I'll reach and grab the glass that's at the bottom too and pick it up.
All right. You pick it up and have a look at it. It's someone familiar to you. It is it is the dragon's, what is that word the dragon used? It was very alien sounding to you.
Friend?
No.
Pet?
The dragon called it a financial mathematician.
What?
That doesn't give me any clues on what to say.
He was the only other person that had regular access to the horde.
This guy could come in useful.
You see a halfling in a small jar. He's rotund, aged, and he seems to be surrounded by ledgers.
The bookkeeper.
Do you happen to know what's in this coffin, sir?
I do.
Oh, yes. It is the jar maker.
Ah, and I take it he's a vampire, maybe, or some form of undead.
No, just dead.
Oh, so why is it chained against a wall?
What is your character's name again? I'm sorry, it's going to take a while to get used to.
Cybot R2s. Oh, and that is from our Patreon Bump Bucket.
Oh,
Thank you,
okay.
patrons.
Yeah, thank you, patron. I pulled a name from the Bump Bucket to name this guy.
All right.
So
Well,
Zabot.
Cybot
Cybot R2s.
R2s.
Cybot, I'm Tiffany. Hello.
The
Jefferson Smithsonian.
The jar maker in this case was an aged witch that that spent her entire basically career as a monster catcher for hire, but she got to such an age where that she was looking for a place where her knowledge could be preserved, not wanting to follow the path of undeath. So she gave some favors and fortune to the dragon to make sure that her knowledge didn't pass into the hands of her enemies. Therefore, her corpse is in there to keep other people from speaking to it.
And her name was Professor Oak.
What?
Her apprentice was Ash.
While I'm giving them this whole thing, I go over to a drawer in the desk and open it, and it has some preserved meats in it. And I pull some out, and from under my cloak, a creature wiggles out with it's a leathery skinned, winged, four-clawed, tiny thing that wiggles out from under the cloak, and I feed it a little bit. And once it eats, I reach into my other side of my pocket and pull out a vial, open it up, and drink it. And it's like, and put the vial back in. Anything else that I could help you with in this room?
What was that thing?
One of the many gifts the Lord Dragon gave me for my servitude. It
Never
is
seen anything
Morsu,
quite like it.
my familiar.
Morsu?
That's its name.
More soon?
Morsu.
More soon.
I keep thinking more soup.
More soup, please.
My mind instantly went to Mushu.
Wushu.
Mulan.
Weird. Okay. Well, I guess this has us ready to continue.
Dude.
Says Pod.
What a coincidence.
Yes, it's
How fortuitous.
He looks at the man with the spear, the elf with the spear, a little hesitantly.
The spear is still laying on the ground. I've shown no sign of aggression yet.
Oh, I know, but he also knows that you are not part of his geas that he cast on the rest of them. He says, "Well, we'll just have to play it by ear, I suppose."
Indeed, Blizzard.
But we don't have a whole lot of time before them other fellas, the Golden Companions, find what we're here for.
Those
Well, actually,
jerks.
now's a perfect time to our new companion here. We came in to this place through the side of the cliff, through an illusion and through a watery area. We have some enemy. Well, actually, I'm gonna just call them straight up enemies.
Competitors. We should call them competitors.
Well, if we meet them, we're probably going to end up getting in a fight. So I call them enemies.
Well, let's try to talk things out. We have to.
We'll try. Yeah. Well, but they're coming through from what we understand, a cavern that is how many miles away?
Let's see. You guys travel by boat for the better part of a day. Math. Basically, you both started 10 or 12 miles from the actual place you needed to be. But we went by boat. They are going through a cavern that is got like a steam baths, or it's got pools, hot water pools. They found some kind of entrance that way and are coming here.
Do you know anything about how they would get here from there?
Yes, you do. You know that is the front entrance. That is the entrance that everyone traditionally used when petitioning the dragon. They come in through the hot springs and go through the labyrinth that is behind a hidden wall. This usually took a while, and it gave the dragon plenty of time to send his spies and monsters to test them out, to see if they were worthy of coming to see him. You know that the group you're talking to came in through the escape exit that the dragon constructed just in case.
You definitely came in the smarter way. Are there any creatures that would still be alive in that labyrinth that the guys would have to deal with?
Most of the creatures he opted for were things he didn't need to feed, so they weren't very alive to begin with. Golems, undead, slimes that would naturally reproduce.
Depending on the strength of these enemies or competitors, whichever word you choose, they may or may not even make it through the labyrinth to get to the front entrance.
Well, let's assume the worst and assume that they will make it through. From here, we've already been in the throne room and through the cheese making area.
Oh, the delicious cheese.
And
the dragon's pride and joy.
We're about to continue down this and I point which direction we're about to go. If you wouldn't mind being our guide, it would be very much appreciated. We might be able to speed this up a little bit.
Especially if you know where all the traps are.
Well, as far as being a guide goes, I'm not familiar with most of this behind. I was awakened. I was given leave for the throne room and other areas, but mostly when I was awakened, I was sent away through the teleportation and did my business and returned with, I was given a few days or weeks, sometimes a month of leave afterwards to handle other business, but...
You do have a cell. It's the one further up the hall that had nothing in it but a bed.
Yeah, I'll tell him that. I'll tell him anything I know beyond this, but I didn't want to be like, yeah, I know this whole place.
No, it's fine. You are roughly familiar with the layout. You've been down here before. It's been a while. They're just not places you had a lot of call to go to. Once you get down the hall a little further, I'll just go ahead and unmask some of this for you.
Is this what the little halfling would know more about, though?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Treasure halls and layouts is more this chunky little fella's deal.
Well, do we want to pull him out?
And give the game master 2 NPCs to control? I think not. I'll kill the wizard first. And then we'll let the halfling out.
It's up to y'all.
I mean,
actually, ask Denmark or whatever.
Well, if he can get us there faster, I say we use him.
What was this thing's personality like?
Imagine your average, extremely elderly accountant.
Do you mean in the sexual sense, like what's going on with the young kids these days? If you're an accountant, you're a sex worker.
No, like an accountant. He's just an accountant. He worked for the dragon. He was very efficient at the things he did, and everything else he did was, when he wasn't in the jar here, was indulge in normal halfling stuff. You're guessing that he probably started his life out as a captive, but he was so good at his job that the dragon rewarded him enough that it really didn't matter who he was working for after a while.
It would be good for information, but not for much else. But information seems to be what you need.
Yeah.
Pop the cork.
You pop the cork. Suddenly, the room is much tighter than before. The halfling is sitting on top of a number of large ledgers. Looks around and says, and adjusts the thick glasses on his face. Is like, "Is that you, master?"
Yes and no. I'm one of his descendants.
Oh, got another child working in the. This is going to work out well. Well, what can I do? Oh, he squints and looks. Is that you, Cybot? Oh, it's good to see you up and about. Supper time coming soon.
Jeb's going to step out of the room because he fucking hates halflings.
Cybot, do you mind actually kind of explaining what's going on here from what we've told you?
Montage.
Since you like-
Montage. 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 Montage
All right, Sabat, you explain what the deal is to the halfling, and he seems a little just chagrined at first. He's like, "Well, I assume it had to happen eventually. Dragons do attract dragon slayers. Who was the lucky knight? No clue.
Actually, do we know that?
No, nobody knows how the dragon died.
Right. Okay, we pass that on.
Well, apparently you're the first descendant to make it this far, so congratulations. I guess you're entitled to. Hold on. He grabs a couple of ledgers and looks over a few of them and says, "You're whatever." He looks you up and down. What year is this?
And I give him the year, and I actually show him the palm of my hand so he make sure he knows I am legit.
Is Herjack's banking guild still active?
Herjack?
Herjack, the Twisted. He sort of ruled this valley unofficially.
Yeah, his isn't it supposed to be his descendant?
Mm-hmm.
That's who our boss is. Oh yeah.
Yeah, most of every person who was involved with Herjack's regime was executed or
Well,
cast
actually,
out.
we have met the Drow priestess.
Oh, yes.
She
Unpleasant woman.
that one, and then actually we'll talk about Lord Blackroom.
Black Rune. I think I remember. No, it's not ringing any bells. But he continues thumbing through the register or ledger. He's looking through this. Yes. I do have a few notes from his lordship. Rest his soul.
Well, it's not resting. It's out in the lake.
As long as it can't get to me. Yes, there is a bequest for anyone who manages to come this way. And in the event of his death, of course, you naturally, if you can claim what's in the treasure room, it's all yours. And except for there's a carve out here for Mr. Saibot and, of course, myself. Let's see.
That's understood.
Kel Dresser, the trophy hunter, he points to the coffin, says, was trying to make sure that none of her knowledge escaped or got into the hands of her enemies, but all her enemies by this time would likely be mostly all dead. So you can probably pop all the chains on that and take the head with you if you like. It's probably very valuable information. I don't know much about magic myself, but let's see. Yes. The only thing we really have to worry about is that there is a secondary claim.
Yeah, that is an issue. Time is of the essence. If you can just point us to where the room is so we can go ahead and claim it, then we'll carve you out what you owe, what's owed to you.
Of course. Actually, you don't really have to do that. I've been skimming for years. If you can take me to the teleportation, I can draw you a map if you can take me to the teleportation.
Who is this secondary claim to?
Oh, the master's mate.
His mate?
Oh yeah. It wasn't a nice breakup.
That might
so
actually have been the
that-
person that killed him.
It may be.
Was she also a dragon?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely.
She assume much?
She was a little older and a little stronger than him, but she didn't really have the sort of immortal ambitions that he did. So she lived a more traditional dragon life a few valleys over. As I recall, it was over a matter of several thousand gold pieces and a cursed statue. Oh, statue. He begins patting his vest pockets and pulls out a key ring with a number of keys on it, and he begins flipping around until he finds a whistle on a hook. You, young man, he points at Zarius. Come here.
Yep.
As part of your bequest, I give you full access to the Guardian Gargoyle stable. Here you are.
Guardian Gargoyle stable, I heard.
Yes. There used to be, I don't know, like 7 or 8 of them in there. I don't know. I don't know what's in there now.
I think we've
Been a
cut that
while.
number down.
Well, they'll be yours to position to use. They used to be self-replicating, but I know the magic fades on these things after a while.
Okay.
No expense is spared. This is probably the most elaborate dragon's hoard I've ever been to. A lair like no other. Very interesting. You're the former master. But I have no interest in being here any longer. So I will gladly make very detailed map if you can hand me both a way out of here. And of course, he points to your hand, that jar.
Well, I think maybe it might behoove us to wait until after we are at the horde to let you, take your leave. Just in case.
I am
You already admitted.
102 years old, young man. I'm not going to walk the 15 miles down that corridor to get to the damn horde.
But you already admitted that you were skimming from your lord, so who's to say that you're actually going to make us an appropriately detailed and accurate map and don't just send us off into the labyrinth? I'm sorry, I have trust issues,
You have no reason to trust me, but he knows who I am and he knows what I'll do if the map is inaccurate.
Besides, you know where I'm going. You have to operate. I don't know what anything looks like anymore.
I mean, it's not my call. I'm just throwing out suggestions.
Well, like I said,
Well, we opened the bottle for information. If we weren't going to trust him, there was no need to open the bottle.
Yeah, you got a valid point there. I'm devil's advocating. I'm Satan's advocating over here. So, just throwing it out there.
What do you think?
I think that this halfling probably is on the up and up.
I'll do
However,
another sense motive.
sure.
Yeah, you would say that NPC to NPC.
I
You're
rolled
only
a natural
coots.
20.
All right. The halfling, you're guessing that the halfling is way more terrified than he lets on. Like, he doesn't want to be here any longer. He's had a good look around, and after the story that Cybot told him, he is definitely afraid of being here. He doesn't want anything more to do with it, and he is probably being very honest, just giving you an amazing deal here to get out.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. I would, to best benefit us with your knowledge of this place, could you give us as much knowledge on your map as possible to make the journey quicker and better?
Of course. Give me some paper, and I will be just about 20-30 minutes to create a place. Which exits are you interested in taking?
Well, we came through the escape route, which the side of the cliff.
And what about the secondary escape route?
We'd like to know about that.
We'd like to know
please.
all the exits.
Okay, very well.
Yeah, and there is another group currently approaching. The type of people that I'm pretty sure your master would be happier to destroy than to have them lay a hand on any coin of his.
Yes. Very well. The halfling sits at the desk and takes the paper and begins to painstakingly draw out a map. He's like, this won't be to scale. But you don't really have to worry about that because the
So
passageway
the
is...
horde is 15 miles still from here?
yes, as the crow flies, about 7. But the passageway is winding.
Sheesh.
He says they're used. I imagine that the mounts we use to get around in it are probably long dead. So, all right. The halfling continues drawing. He mutters to himself, says, "No, no, no." And then finally he says, "All right, all done." He points to the map, says, "Here's the treasure hoard." He points to the end of the map. Here's where we are here. The 3 rooms down the hall are the kitchen, his lord's sleeping chamber, and of course the steam room. That was mostly just there for his convenience, or whenever he wasn't there, the servants.
Does the steam room lead out to the outside?
Oh no.
Ah, all right, shit.
In fact, I doubt it even function anymore. I don't think.
I I saw you
Only
had
the-
a bunch of keys.
Yes.
Were
I'm
those
sorry, here.
keys part of this place?
Yeah, it's mostly to the doors and around here. He passes the key ring over. I won't need it. Oh wait, no. He goes over and pulls a couple of smaller keys off. Like, those are for me, just in case.
I have to ask what they're for.
Oh, I've squirreled away a few stashes around the valley. So.
Okay, so that's your severance pay.
Yes.
Okay, I can understand.
He says, all right, these are the important highlights here. There's no way to get out of the passageway once you're in it. The only other escape routes are from the Horde chamber itself. Not many people know this, and it's one of the faster ways in and out of the whole compound, really. He says you'll be looking for a number of carved dragon heads. You'll need to be 4 people or 1 dragon to operate the hatch. And he says it's probably hidden here and here. There's some illusion going on, naturally.
You didn't happen to bring a very powerful illusion wizard with you, did you?
No, I did not.
He's dead.
Well, it would be handy if you had one.
It would have been.
Yeah.
As soon as you die, Terrence throws in illusions.
A pattern
pockets
seeker
for
would
that.
be really helpful right now.
Yeah. Well, while he was alive, nothing but undead and vermin. Now that he's dead, here's all the illusions.
You're a bitter man, Terrence. A bitter
bitter.
man.
You guys just never remember the encounters that are good for you. All you remember is the stuff that makes you mad.
Now, I remember the where they were coming at our caravan from the left and right. I had a blast in that combat.
Yeah, the werewolf combat was really fun,
That one was good too, yeah.
and the bone devil. That was super fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Stunned.
I loved
Sleeping.
it. I loved
At
it.
any rate, he says, once, of course, you operate that, it should be easy to get out through the top of the cliff. It's not honestly that far from. He says, hold on. And he turns the bag of paper up. The problem with the treasure chamber is that it's nestled between, and he points here. He circles an area down here as if it's the treasure chamber. And then he draws a wider area on top. The labyrinth spins all around till you get to the treasure chamber here. And then he draws something underneath it. The tunnel winds all the way in and around itself until you get to the treasure chamber from here. Essentially, you'll probably be passing each other multiple times from different heights, with the treasure chamber in between you, though I could not for the life of me give you a precise estimate as to where it is. But
So
there
there's
is-
no way to just burrow straight through with stone shape or earth glide or anything like that, huh?
well, it'd be like trying to
Burrow through stone.
it'd be like trying to burrow through stone. I'm trying to think of an
find a
analogy
buried
here.
needle from a million years ago.
Yes. Imagine you're burying a dinner plate in a 10-foot by 10-foot area where you don't know where it is, and you're trying to poke holes until you find it.
And then I think the chamber is protected versus teleportation.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
So don't rely on any of that to get you out of there. And that's pretty much it. Though I'd get going if I were you. You said they have a day on you, or you guys started around the same time?
They started a day behind us.
Well then, if you get going now, you may beat them there.
Well, hopefully they've had to rest also during their if they've been having to fight stuff too.
Oh, I imagine, yes, the labyrinth can be quite deadly.
So is there anything in these back rooms here worth looking at?
Nothing really particularly. Dragons always keep a little. Dragons always
You
keep a
said the
little.
kitchen.
Yeah, there's a kitchen. The dragons always keep a little treasure to sleep on. So if you don't mind hauling around a small mound of gold everywhere you go from now on.
I don't think we mind that hardly
Yeah,
at
I
all.
think, and this isn't my character talking because he's only been in the group for 8 minutes now. But since the good guys, the quote unquote the other guys, the way they're going is not going to bring them here at all, right? Labyrinth
Not unless
straight to the treasure.
Yes, once they get to the vault, the treasure vault, then they could get here if they come in through, if they leave the vault and come through the other way,
The way that we
down
would be going.
the corridor. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah,
And that's the front entrance.
Oh yes. His lordship was quite paranoid.
But why would the guest front entrance take them to the horde?
Well, I mean, he didn't really invite people he wasn't trying to impress.
So he would have them walk through the vault, or at least the pathway by the vault door
And honestly,
to get to his.
he never invited anyone he didn't intend to eat.
look at all my stuff.
It's a
Chomp, chomp,
joke.
chomp.
Yeah.
Behold, my stuff.
And then he would add your stuff to his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All
All right. Well, I
Less
guess-
work for him then to get
Oh.
to build his hoard.
That's the best part of being a dragon of a certain reputation. The food comes to you after a while.
Well, if we're done with him, we want to check the
I'm
sleeping
assuming
chambers.
that we can rely on your quietness.
Oh,
Discretion.
absolutely. My reputation is probably now non-existent after 200 years and was already in the gutter when I was well known. So no, I intend to change my name. But if you need further proof of my honesty, he reaches out and plucks one of the gray hairs out of his head, rolls it up and hands it to you. Here you go. You need to track me magically later on. It's all you.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually
gotcha.
Appreciate that note of sincerity.
After all, how much longer am I going to live?
I don't know. Good health and
But
safe
yes.
journeys.
Yes, you. The halfling is led back through the out into the throne room to the teleportation room. Devilmark says, "What sort of area are you trying to find to look for? You want a halfling village?" He's like, "No, just something metropolitan."
Well, while
This is-
Claude is leading the halfling, we can search the bed chambers to scrape up the gold that's there and have a quick word with Cybot.
All right, you're gonna leave Pod to go teleport him away.
Yeah, I mean, we're running out of time here with the other golden companions coming, so we could kill two birds, one stone. We get
I'm
the
good with
treasure. We'll scrape the treasure into the thing, and then while you lead him off, because that's a 10-minute walk.
All
No,
right.
I see there's a path there. Never mind. It's not a 10-minute walk, but
It's a short walk, but they're both kind of.
Well,
one is an
chatty.
elderly halfling, and they're both kind of chatty people. So.
yeah, we could stroll there and we can
All
get
right.
some work done.
Okay. Whenever they leave and you head down the hall further, you get to the part where where Cybot, that his lordship napped whenever he was on this end of the compound. The door is easy to open for you, Zarius. It just clicks open as soon as you touch it with your hand.
Right.
And you see an enormous woven mat, exquisitely made. But you also see that there are a number of piles of gold, like large piles of gold in here.
Okay.
I have an easier way to carry this all.
Double check. Actually, I'd like to make a check to see if it's actually real or if it's illusionary.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and let's see, do investigation or not investigation, sorry, wrong.
Perception.
Perception.
14 plus 14, 28.
28. You go and check the gold out. Once you interact with it, you feel like it's probably real. Like it's there, big clunky coins from old kingdoms that no longer exist. There it is. Not invoking a will save or anything for you. So
Okay.
We haven't taken care of Valric's pets, have we, in the hole?
Yes. I let them out. I did a dimension door. I let them out and
That's
I came
right.
back.
That's right.
Okay.
So we could just drop this whole mat and everything into the hole.
Well, the mat is excessively heavy, but the gold is going to be excessively heavy too. Let me do a little mat calculation. So
Do we want to take a little quick break?
no, let's see. So
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It's been about
I mean,
an hour, so let's
No, it's been over an hour, hasn't it?
mm.
I don't fucking know.
Anyhow, this has been Raiders of the Lark, a homebrew detritus production. Please visit us at www.homebrewdetritus.com. Support us on Patreon. Maybe one day we'll have jiggly hentai titties on there for you to pay money.
Boingy, boingy,
And that'll be a
boingy.
real reason to give us money.
And it'll give me a reason to start trying to draw jiggly hentai titties.
Yeah, so
there you go.
listen
There's
to
Our
this-
jiggle physics.
Yeah. Don't forget to visit Frakes' new website, Reddit/hentai. He lives there.
It's okay. I've seen better.
Excellent. Whatever.
Anyhow, yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. We
Thank
need it.
Hmm.
We need your attention. We're desperate attention whores.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.